Oh, hi. I will let you know. This is the tightest shot I have. I think they come down both aisles, but I can't remember if it's this one or the one right next to it. Okay. Let's see. How do you get to window mode again in here? Oh, yes. Okay.
Humanities Commencement Ceremony. My name is Asa Ginawi.
And my name is Brody Chestnut. As we celebrate our 35th commencement ceremony, we are honored to serve as your co-masters of ceremony. Now, I invite you all to rise as Dane Adams leads us through the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dane. Please take your seats. I would like to welcome to the podium our Executive Director, Dr. Dane Kavars, for opening remarks.
Thank you, Asia and Brody. It is my pleasure to welcome all families, friends, faculty, staff, and students as we come together to honor the Indiana Academy for Science, Mathematics, and Humanities Class of 2025, the Academy's 34th graduating class. To our graduating students, you are a remarkable group who in a few minutes will join a proud community of more than 4,000 alumni who have crossed this very stage, earning their high school diplomas from the #1 ranked public high school in Indiana. With so much thoughtful advice on the way from our keynote speakers and your classmates, I'll refrain from adding more on my own and instead take this time to recognize and celebrate a few of the many incredible accomplishments of the class of 2025. The Indiana Academy encourages students to pursue meaningful experiences beyond the classroom through internships, research, and other work-based experiences. Seniors, if you've completed an internship during May term or during an entire semester, conducted research with an Academy or Ball State University professor, or held a job while managing your academic responsibilities, will you please stand to be recognized? Be seated. Balancing the rigors of academic coursework with real-world commitment is no small achievement. Next, will the students who participated in concert band, jazz band, orchestra, and show choir please stand? I had the pleasure of attending several of your performances this year, and they were nothing short of outstanding. This has been a year to remember, from powerful ensemble pieces to impressive individual achievements, including multiple gold-rated performances. Let's give them another round of applause. All right, the next group. Well, all students who participated on one or more of the Academy Burris athletic teams, including our team managers, please stand. Standing for just a bit. This year's students set a new high for athletic participation, with more students than ever in the school's history taking part in athletics. Many of you even stepped into a sport for the very first time, which takes real courage and a willingness to grow. I'm incredibly proud of everything our athletes have accomplished this year. Let's give them another well-earned round of applause. Okay, will the graduating members of the girls' soccer team please remain standing? I have a few special words to share about this fantastic group of student athletes. Last year as juniors, these students guided their team to a 3rd consecutive sectional title. Having never played organized soccer myself, I decided that advising some of the players on how to best achieve a 4th consecutive sectional title would be a good idea. But being the teenagers that they are, they ignored my advice. And instead of winning some games at the start of the season, they started with an 0-6 record. 0 wins. And hopefully there's more to this story. Otherwise this becomes a very awkward graduation moment for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are standing. But after a 0-6 start, this team decided that maybe, just maybe, Dr. Kavars knows what he's talking about, and we should win some games. And win some games they did. They went on an 8-1-1 tear, winning their 4th consecutive sectional championship in a thrilling overtime match. There were many individual achievements, including one of these students playing every single minute of every single match of this season. Let's give this group a big round of applause for an incredible season. Okay, will this year's Indiana Academy Academic Super Bowl team please rise? Students competed across 6 categories: English, social studies, fine arts, mathematics, science, and interdisciplinary studies. 3 of our 6 teams advanced to the state competition. Will the members of the math team remain standing? I like how everybody claps before they know what I'm going to say about this team. This team, the team standing before you, are the Math Academic Super Bowl state champions for the 2nd year in a row. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, the next group I'd like to recognize are the students who received honors through the National Merit Scholarship Program. This year, the Indiana Academy was proudly represented by 4 seniors named National Merit Finalists. Hunter, Miriam, Ian, and Justin, will you please rise? The National Merit Scholarship Program recognizes the top academic talent among high school seniors nationwide. These students rank among the top 15,000 seniors in the country, placing them in the 0.04% nationally. Of this exceptional group that you see standing, 2 were selected as National Merit Scholars. While I can't reveal their names today due to the program's official announcement made in early June, they do know who they are, we know who they are, and we are incredibly proud of what they've accomplished. Let's give them another round of applause. All right, my last group. A special aspect of the Indiana Academy is the strong sense of family that connects our community across generations. Students, if you had an older sibling, parent, aunt, uncle, cousin, or other family member attend the Indiana Academy before you, please stand. I also know that we have some Academy alumni in the audience today. If that's you, you're a graduate of the Indiana Academy, will you join us in standing? As you can see, we have several Academy alums here with us. All right, I'll have this group sit down. I got one more group connected to family. To our graduating students, if you have a younger sibling that's attending the Academy next year, or is already an Academy student and will remain with us next year, will you rise? It's incredible. So class of 2025, the growing legacy, this growing legacy that you see before you, and you can go ahead and sit down. This growing legacy that you sit before you is a testament to the enduring impact of the Academy experience, an experience rooted in curiosity, challenge, and community. To all the families who continue to believe in and support the Indiana Academy, thank you for helping build something truly lasting. To the class of 2025, today we recognize more than just your graduation. We celebrate all that you've accomplished to reach this moment. You've earned national academic honors, won state championships, delivered unforgettable performances, led clubs and community projects, and gain valuable experience through internships and research experiences. Many of you did this while balancing demanding coursework, supporting your peers, and contributing to the life of the Academy in meaningful ways. Your hard work, determination, and spirit have made this an exceptional year. You've made a lasting impact on this school, and we couldn't be prouder. Congratulations on all you've achieved. We can't wait to see what comes next. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kavars. Next, please join me in welcoming Dr. Joelle Olufowote to the podium to present the John E. Worthen Award.
Good morning. Good morning. I feel very honored and privileged today to present to you the Worthen Award winner for 2025. The Worthen Award is named after John E. Worthen, a former president of Ball State University that was instrumental in getting the Academy started. And this award recognizes an individual who has been pivotal, monumental towards the growth and development of gifted students and high ability students. Today, I would like to mention the winner of the Worthen Award, and his name is Dr. Washington. I'll share a little bit more about Dr. Washington. He is a distinguished educational leader and scholar, specializing in gifted education, curriculum innovation, and equity-driven learning models. With over 2 decades of experience across K-12 and higher education, he has consistently championed programs that expand access to advanced learning opportunities for underrepresented and underserved students. Currently, Dr. Anthony Washington serves as an assistant research professor at Arizona State University's Mary Lou Fulton College of Teaching and Learning Innovation, where he supports research and program development for the Herberger Young Scholars Academy. Previously, he led in-person programs at Johns Hopkins University's Center for Talented Youth, implementing Lean Six Sigma strategies to enhance operational efficiency and reduce program costs. In a prior role as Director of Curriculum and Instruction for Richmond Public Schools, Dr. Washington spearheaded initiatives that expanded dual enrollment pathways, integrated STEM and early literacy programs, and integrated innovative summer learning experiences like Camp Invention and Reading Writers to engage students from low-income backgrounds. Dr. Washington's academic contributions include research on creativity and gifted education with publications such as Efficacy of Creative Training for Gifted Science Students, featured in Interplay of Creativity and Giftedness in Science. He has presented at national conferences, including the National Association for Gifted Children and the National Curriculum Network Conference, sharing highlights and insight on identifying high potential in underserved populations and leveraging artificial intelligence to enhance creativity in education. A graduate of Norfolk State University and the College of William and Mary, Dr. Washington's early career as a band and orchestra director and an IB diploma program instructor fueled his commitment to talent development and gifted education. Dr. Washington remains deeply committed to shaping the future of education through innovation, equity, and a belief in the limitless potential of every learner. As he continues to lead and inspire at the highest levels, he stands as a powerful advocate for students who dare to dream beyond their circumstances. His journey from gifted students in an underserved school to national leader in gifted education serves as a testament to what is possible when talent is nurtured and opportunity is made equitable. Today, as we celebrate this new generation of graduates, Dr. Washington encourages each of you to lead boldly, think with creativity, and always uplift others on their journey. Last summer, I met Dr. Washington while working on the campus of Johns Hopkins University's Center for Talented Youth. And in that role, I was responsible for overseeing about 80 staff members and close to 700 students. And inevitably, when I needed help, I reached out to Dr. Washington, and he was such a kind and thoughtful resource to help me navigate an experience that was new to me. The 30-minute conversation I had with Dr. Washington, drinking coffee, walking the campus of Johns Hopkins University, transformed my life. And currently, I'm engaged in a project funded by the Lilly Endowment based on ideas and perspectives that he instilled in me that afternoon. I don't say these things to boast. I say these things to return the glory to the person who inspired me and to the person who is the winner of this year's Worthen Award. He is known by many as Dr. Washington, and I feel very honored today to call Anthony my friend. Unfortunately, Dr. Washington had too much of a busy schedule to join us this morning, but I believe we have a short acceptance video of Dr. Washington accepting his award. If we have the video available, we can go ahead and play that now.
Good afternoon, families, faculty, and most importantly, graduates of the Indiana Academy class of 2025. It is a tremendous honor to be with you today and to receive the John E. Worthen Outstanding Contribution to Education Award. I would like to thank the selection committee, the educators and leaders of this incredible institution, and the family who have stood by the students every step of the way. I'm deeply grateful and immensely inspired to be standing among you, although virtually. When I was in middle school, I was often pulled out of class and placed into a special group where we did more advanced work, had more rigorous reading passages, and perhaps engaged in more projects and experiments than the general class. I didn't know it at the time, but that group was designed to be a gifted program. No one called it that because gifted education at the time wasn't a thing on the west side of Detroit. There was no banner over the door, and for years I just thought I was lucky. It wasn't until I became a teacher myself that I realized I wasn't just lucky, I had been seen. Someone looked past the surface, past the assumptions tied to the neighborhood I grew up in, and recognized that there were children who, even in these dire circumstances, had the potential for greatness. That moment, those people, and the systems that allowed it to happen changed my life. It reminds me of something the esteemed educator John Dewey once wrote: what the best and wisest parent wants for his own child That must the community want for all of its children. Education, at its best, is not about sorting the deserving from the rest. It's about building systems that recognize potential everywhere and make it possible for everyone to thrive. The opportunity I received shouldn't have been rare. One of the things that propelled me into education was recognizing if that was intended to be a gifted program, how did they miss so many of my friends who I clearly saw their gifts but they weren't recognized by the school? These experiences should be standard, systematic, intentional. And that's what schools like the Indiana Academy strive to do. Because here's what I know. Brilliance is boundless, but opportunity, that must be intentionally built. Today we celebrate you, students who've had the benefit of being in a place designed to cultivate your gifts. A place where curiosity is not only welcome, but expected. And while your talent is exceptional, what's even more powerful is what this community has built around it to support you. Access, challenge, care, and possibility. But as you prepare to leave this place, I want you to remember something. Not every gifted student gets to walk across a stage like this. Not every bright young mind is placed in the right room at the right time. As we've often heard, talent is universal, but access and opportunity are not. That's why schools like the Indiana Academy matter. That's why I spent my career working to ensure that more students, especially those that come from areas like where I came from, are seen, supported, and believed in early and often. From launching early college academies, to developing summer STEM programs, to integrating culturally responsive curriculum and restorative practices, I've worked to build the systems I once benefited from, so others can walk through doors that for too long have been closed. And now it's your turn. You've been prepared not only to succeed, but to lead, to design, and to build. And as you do, I hope you carry this sentiment with you. Brilliance is boundless, but opportunity must be made accessible. W.B. Du Bois spoke of the talented 10th, not as a chosen few, but as those entrusted with the sacred work of lifting others. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. reminds us that service is the rent we pay for living on this earth. So let your knowledge be generous. Let your success be a doorway. Let your voice be the bridge someone else walks across. You are not only chosen to rise, you were prepared to reach back, to build, to begin again where others stopped. That is the true measure of brilliance. Not how far you go, but how many you carry with you. Congratulations, class of 2025. May your future be bright, and may your brilliance light the way for many others to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alufawata, and congratulations to Dr. Anthony Washington. Next, I would like to welcome to the podium Dr. Casey Schultz to present the Dean Roy Weaver Award.
The Dean Roy Weaver Outstanding Contributor Award acknowledges a member of the Indiana Academy community whose commitment to students or the institution as a whole has had the greatest impact. The best part about this award is that it's voted on by Academy students. This year, the students selected Mrs. Chris Buchek. Adventure in 1998 as a permanent substitute, which, let's be honest, is like being thrown into the educational deep end wearing cement shoes. Armed with not one, but 2 bachelor's degrees, a master's in chemical education, and enough additional graduate chemistry courses to practically glow in the dark, Chris has dedicated her career to making science accessible, engaging, and slightly less likely to cause explosions than your average YouTube tutorial. Her teaching philosophy has always been refreshingly honest. While not every student will fall in love with chemistry, every student deserves respect, boundaries and to be treated as the remarkable young person they are, even when they're asking if they can eat the lab chemicals. Her dedication to professional growth led her to the Advanced Placement Summer Institute early in her teaching career, as she was about to tackle the arduous task of teaching AP Chemistry. As luck would have it, the APSI was at the Indiana Academy, a place that immediately captured her heart as her dream workplace. She believed in the Academy so much that she eventually sent her own daughter to the Academy, and she graduated in 2019. 15 years after that initial APSI, the year her daughter was a senior, her dream became reality, proving that good things come to those who wait and those who persistently stalk their dream job, after attending 2 more APSIs at the Academy over those 15 years. At the Academy, working with students so intellectually gifted that they regularly ask questions that would stump most college professors, Chris discovered a whole new level of intellectual challenge. These students ask questions so sophisticated that Chris sometimes has to Google the answers when she gets home. As the National Honor Society advisor, Chris has had the incredible privilege of watching her students' natural leadership and compassion flourish into remarkable initiatives. These outstanding young people have developed and led programs with heartfelt names like Study Buddies, Green Cleaners, and Fish Club. But don't let the simple names fool you. Behind each program lies genuine innovation, dedication, and a desire to make their community better. Her NHS students have also demonstrated extraordinary commitment to causes beyond their school walls, raising over $3,000 2 years in a row for the Walk Against Alzheimer's, proving that when brilliant, caring teenagers put their minds to making a difference, they can move mountains. Perhaps most remarkably, in 25 years of teaching, Chris has never once woken up thinking, I have to go to work. Though she admits to occasionally thinking, I don't want to get up, which is probably the most relatable thing a teacher has ever said. Whether pioneering internship programs, surviving summer camps with elementary kids, or pushing Academy students to reach their full potential while trying to keep up with their rapid-fire questions, Chris approaches each day with the same enthusiasm she had as that naive permanent substitute 25 years ago. After accumulating enough committee memberships to require her own filing cabinet, surviving countless lab redesigns, and becoming an AP consultant, which means other teachers now ask her the hard questions, Chris continues to find privilege and joy in watching her students' initiatives blossom and witnessing the greatness that they will achieve, probably while inventing something that makes their old chemistry teacher feel simultaneously proud and slightly obsolete. Please join me in congratulating Chris Buchek.
Thank you so much for this incredible honor. I never imagined when I started as that terrified permanent substitute 25 years ago that I'd be standing here today, still trying to explain why chemistry is super cool to a room full of skeptics. This award truly belongs to my students, who have taught me far more than I've ever taught them. From those brave middle schoolers who trusted me with their hot air balloon experiments to the Academy students. You guys asked the best questions. It was a lot of fun when you asked me one that even the professor who was observing me that day didn't know the answer. I'm grateful to my colleagues who became mentors, the administrators who supported my crazy ideas, losing my hat, and especially to my family who tolerated me spending my entire weekends grading papers, and to my daughter who tolerated having me as a chemistry teacher. Most of all, I'm grateful that after 25 years, I still love my job. And in a world where so many challenges exist, I get to spend my days with young people who are brilliant, passionate, and determined to make things better. You guys give me hope every single day. Teaching isn't just what I do, it's who I am. I can't wait to see the amazing things you guys will accomplish. Sometimes you make me feel like I need to go back to school and learn more. And I might. Thank you again for this honor. I can't tell you how much it means to me. Thank you, you guys.
Thank you, Dr. Schultz, and congratulations to Ms. Chris Buchek. Thanks to incredible faculty like Ms. Buchek, every Academy student is able to flourish inside of the classroom.
Brody, I've seen some of your German vocab quizzes. Proof that not every Academy student flourishes inside of the classroom. At least, you don't in the German one.
Now, be that as it may.
Or the physics one.
Now, be that as it may, the Academy is filled with students that possess a range of talents, both inside and outside of the classroom.
Academy students devote a significant amount of time towards perfecting the things they set their minds to.
Like how you spent 10 minutes trying to fix this transition.
Exactly, but the Academy teaches students like myself and our next speaker, Lena Bechtel, that we don't always have to be perfect. Next, please join me in welcoming Lena.
I, like many of my fellow Academy students, have always considered myself a perfectionist. That sense of perfectionism typically manifests itself in my schoolwork, as it does for many of us. I think that this idea often comes hand in hand with a fear that we will automatically fail if our own high bar is not met. If something goes wrong, our standing as a gifted or talented student is erased. If we try something for the first time and it is not done exactly correctly, we fear that we aren't really as smart as we have always been told, and we lose any motivation. I have also always considered myself to be a good writer, and yet, each and every time I write, there's an undercurrent of doubt. My fears of failure have worked in tandem with my perfectionism. I always want to reassure people that this is not my best work, or I had no time to write this. I even found myself saying those exact same things to Dr. Olufawate when I first read him this speech. But I've always believed myself when I've said those things. I've always struggled with the idea of my writing being good enough, believing that to be proud of something I had created, it had to be my very best work. If it was something to be shared without shame, it had to be not only flawless, but almost revolutionary. It had to be serious and well thought out, smart enough to be important. And as I've gone through high school and submitted, honestly, countless papers, I've realized that not only is that the wrong way to think about my writing, it's utterly impossible. And honestly, the fear of submitting non-perfect papers didn't even drive me to spend more time on my writing. It just led me to deprecate what I had written. I've had some really incredible classes at the Academy. Ones that have changed not only my writing or research skills, but ones that I can honestly say have helped to form my ideals, my outlook, and my perspective. Throughout all of these classes, though, I've had one massive constant, that fear of my work being imperfect. Looking back, I think that fear of what I considered failure held me back in more ways than I'll ever know. I wish I could have understood years ago that my work is good enough and my word choice is just fine, but it took a while for me to really get that. One of the greatest lessons I've learned in my 3 years at the Academy is to not strive for perfection, but for work that I can take pride in. Work that reflects my effort and my ideas. I've learned to not aim for flawlessness, but for the pleasure that comes with the completion of a great and difficult task when I've completed it with my own mind and thoughts. As I've grown, academically and mentally, I've begun to come to terms with that. Not to say that I've become satisfied with a lesser quality of work, but I've begun to lose the fear that comes along with doing something to the best of my ability rather than to a place of perfection. And I think that this lesson can be applied far outside of our high school essays and papers. We don't need to be perfect in order to do something well, obviously. We're all here, and I know not one of us has had a perfect high school experience, so we've all proved this to be true. We've all, or at least the majority of us, put a lot of effort into our academics, our activities, our residential life, and any number of other things. The Academy has meant something different to each of us, but it's been something that we've worked at, and something that has occupied a great deal of our time. And yet, no matter how much effort you've put into it, it hasn't been perfect. And that's really what I've had to come to terms with, something that I think we all need to come to terms with. Nothing I write will ever be perfect. None of my work will ever be the best it could have ever been, but that's just fine. Like I said earlier, I've learned not to aim for perfection and flawlessness, but for something I'm proud of, something that I completed with my own mind, and something that is good and sound. In my family, I'm right in the middle of what are now 3 Academy students. My sister graduated 2 years ago, and my brother will graduate 2 years from now, each of us with 1 year of overlap. I was the lucky one. My sophomore year, I had my sister here, and this year my brother has been here. And in retrospect, I am so grateful that I had them to lean on while I grew into who I am now. While the three of us are very different, I see in all of us that want to strive for something great, something that we think everyone will be proud of. But what turns out to be the most impactful is usually not that goal of perfection. I see that reflected in both of my siblings, and I can see it in many of the people who I've completed my academy experience with. Graduating is not the greatest thing any of us will achieve. It's certainly a stepping stone, but I'm confident that for each of us, this will lead to something even greater, something to be even prouder of. And I think it's important to remember, as we accomplish the things that lie ahead of us, that none of it will be perfect. We can look back at all of those papers we've turned in, the bad ones and the good ones, and use them to remind ourselves that even if something isn't perfect, it is possible and it can be finished. Thank you.
Though you just explained that it's impossible, Lena, that was perfect. Next, we have a musical number for you all. Performing Dream Chaser, please welcome Justin Lin.
performance, Justin. Thank you. The next person I'd like to introduce is someone I am proud to call a dear friend of mine. Please join me in welcoming Alicia Rothanasamy.
Hello and welcome to all of the staff, faculty, friends, parents, and grandparents. Most importantly, welcome and congratulations to the class of 2025. I'm honored to have the privilege to be speaking to you all today. I want to begin by recognizing a group of students sitting among the graduates this morning. This year, the inaugural sophomore class, which I am grateful to be a part of, will be graduating from the Indiana Academy. Walking in day one, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, as the Academy was initially intended to be a school for juniors and seniors. However, leaving here today, I am incredibly proud to be among this group of select students that has succeeded beyond expectations, beginning the tradition of sophomores for years to come. At this point, the senior class has dedicated 2,340 days, 16,380 hours, 982,800 minutes, or 58,968,000 seconds to our K-12 education. Now, if I'm being completely honest, that is probably less time than I spent figuring out how to calculus a box in my AP Physics C class with Wawila. We are no longer the kindergartners learning to read Dr. Seuss in our parents' lap on the reading rug. Now, we are learning how to write critical analysis papers and finding the angular momentum of a rocket. When did that happen? During Welcome Week, Dr. Lukawate told us all to look around at the people sitting next to us as they would become our lifelong friends and even future spouses. While I may not have found that special someone during my time here, I can confidently say that I have found friendships that I hope to never lose. Senior year has definitely been quite a whirlwind. Going into it, everyone told me that this was going to be the best year of high school. And looking back, even with what seemed like never-ending college and scholarship applications, I wouldn't change a thing. From late-night insomnia runs to locking in the third-floor A-Wing lounge for a calculus exam, I, alongside my fellow graduates, have made the most out of our senior year and will forever be grateful for the Academy, the place we learned to call home. Walking through Burkhart Lounge the day we got our caps and gowns, I felt happiness radiating in the air. But it was also the time that I began to come to terms with the fact that our journey at the Academy was coming to an end. We have been waiting for this day to come for what seemed like forever, but now that it's actually here, we would give anything to go back to Welcome Week and relive all of the moments that have helped us grow into the people that we are today. We have each dedicated thousands of hours to our academics, clubs, and volunteer organizations, earning the privilege to walk across the stage today. The diploma we will receive is not just a piece of paper that we will hang up on the wall. It speaks to the 100 tabs open for one project, all-nighters fueled by energy drinks, and breakdowns that we've had in SLC's offices. Special shout out to my former SLC, Taylor Hubble. But most importantly, it speaks to the hard work and dedication each one of us has put forward throughout our time at the Academy. Today marks the end of our journey as students at the Indiana Academy, but it also signifies the start to the rest of our lives. As you take this next step, carry with you the advice received from friends, relatives, teachers, mentors, and SLCs. Whether it's college, a gap year, a job, or still unknown, remember to put your all into everything you do and never give up on making a difference in this world. Class of 2025, as we walk out of Emmons Auditorium together today, we must recognize the wise words of Hannah Montana. I always knew this day would come. We'd be standing one by one with our future in our hands. So many dreams, so many plans. I always knew, after all these years, there'd be laughter, there'd be tears, but never thought I'd walk away with so much joy, but so much pain, and it's so hard to say goodbye. While leaving here today as an alum of the Indiana Academy seems unimaginable, we must move forward with excitement and curiosity as we navigate the incredible opportunities that the future holds for each and every one of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia, for showing us how the Academy is truly the best of both worlds. Next, we have Zishan Hyder performing Chaconne in G minor.
much you love what you do. But now, I'm wondering, what makes you love it? Here to tell us, please join me in welcoming Lily Ellis.
I want you all to remember the time you first fell in love. Not talking about a person. I'm talking about a topic, an activity, a career. I first fell in love with atoms at 8 years old. I opened up a book of elements and saw unanoctium, an element so new it hadn't even been named yet. And even now, when unanoctium has been given the name oganesson, I still have a fondness for subatomic particles. And if you're not sure about yourself, I'm sure that you can spot this love in other people. As soon as I even so much as mention photography to my dad, his face lights up, and I hear a whirl of ISO and focal length and aperture, and oh, what an interesting setting, and what's the light like? To me, he really seems to just love light. He says it helps capture the beauty of the situation. These things we love, whether chemistry or photography, we love them for a reason. That's what I'm here to talk about today. Why we love what we do. For my part, I propose there are 3 possible reasons. We love to do what we do because it's true, it's good, or it's beautiful. It's long been thought that these categories exist together, that beauty is good and true, that truth is beautiful and good, and that goodness is true and beautiful. You see how this works. As I say this, some of you are on board already. Others of you might not be so convinced. If truth, goodness, and beauty are subjective, how can I argue that we love what we do because of them? Here's the thing. Even if that's correct, I still think these categories apply. Let me show you. Why don't we start with goodness? We know that wonderful feeling of volunteering or helping someone out. Take my cousin. She works with kids with intellectual disabilities, and it makes her face light up to talk about how she can help them do things themselves that they can never do before. Out in the audience, there's firefighters, nurses, and teachers. I talk to plenty of students who want to go into social work. Those are all taxing jobs. But even still, like my professor said, I like teaching. I think it's good for my soul. Sometimes we love what we do because it's good. And I think there's something beautiful and true about that. But I also think here at the Academy we often have a different focus. A lot of us are here for the sake of truth. There is such joy in knowing and in seeking out knowledge. For instance, did you know that the tongues of woodpeckers are so long, the space they store it in their skull goes all the way around their brain? Is that not so cool? Does that not make a woodpecker sighting that much more incredible? This quality of fantastical but true only grows the more you learn about a subject. In the audience, mathematicians, scientists, scholars, enthusiasts, you all know there's something beautiful about understanding a piece of what is, which is why we love what we do for the sake of truth. And I think that's actually really good. All right, folks, now it's time for perhaps the most controversial subject that's reached the stage, beauty. I say this because I can agree that helping people is good and murder isn't. I can agree that when meteorologists say the atmosphere is 1% argon, it's probably true. But I cannot agree that the poetry of Walt Whitman is more beautiful than the poetry of John Donne. Cannot agree. And you know what? I think that's okay. Regardless of the standard, poets write for beauty. Or if not for beauty, to say something true about the world. Musicians play lovely music. Cooks create dishes that are gorgeous to the taste buds. and mechanics find elegant ways to fix things. All those who work with their hands, there is great beauty in an object that does its job well. And that is why we love what we do. For the sake of beauty. For the thrill that comes upon us when we strive for something spectacular. I feel that's a good and true striving. After all, these three are all entwined with one another. When you go looking for one, you get them all. But why is this important? I've argued that why we love what we do is for the sake of goodness, truth, and beauty. Even if I've convinced you what use is it, I tell you because we forget. And when we forget why we love what we do, we stop loving it. This is especially insidious because we're told to love what we do for its own sake. In C.S. Lewis's book, The Great Divorce, there's a conversation between the ghost of an artist and his heavenly guide. The ghost insists that real artists are only interested in painting for its own sake. But the guide says, no, you're forgetting. That was not how you began. Light itself was your first love. You loved to paint only as a means of telling about light. Can I tell you something? We don't do things for their own sake. Ecologists don't do ecology for the sake of ecology. They do ecology to find out new things about our world and how we can make things better. Teachers don't teach for the sake of teaching. They teach for the sake of students. It's like my dad's obsession with photography. I think it is really all about light. When we forget the light we saw in these topics, the truth, goodness, and beauty, we cease to love them. To keep loving what we do, we must remember why we fell in love in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you for that truly beautiful speech, Lily. I absolutely loved it. Next, we would like to introduce our commencement speakers, Dr. Jennifer Carlson and Mr. Brad Dillon.
Dr. Jennifer Carlson is a professor of sociology at Arizona State University and a MacArthur Fellow in the class of 2022. Her work examines the politics of guns in everyday life. She is the author of Citizen Protectors, The Everyday Politics of Guns in an Age of Decline, Policing the Second Amendment, Guns, Public Law Enforcement, and the Politics of Race, and Merchants of the Right, Gun Sellers and the Crisis of Democracy. Her work has been funded by the National Science Foundation, as well as the Russell Sage Foundation, and it has been featured in the New York Times, PBS, NPR, The Atlantic, the Los Angeles Times, as well as other national outlets. She is the founding director of ASU's Bridges Initiative, bringing research and innovation into the debate on guns in society, which is aimed at supporting social science approaches to gun scholarship. Currently, she is writing Loaded Conversations, How We End the Gun Debate with Live Right Norton. She graduated from the Indiana Academy in the year 2000.
Originally from Redford, Indiana, Brad Dillon graduated from the Indiana Academy in 2000. He received his BA summa cum laude in Mathematics and Philosophy from Indiana University, an MA in Philosophy from Sussex University in the UK, a JD from UCLA School of Law, where he served as an editor of the UCLA Law Review, and a Master of Laws in Taxation from NYU School of Law. Brad has spent his career as a tax and estate planning lawyer and now works as a partner for the venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz. Brad is also an adjunct professor of law at Fordham University School of Law, where he teaches courses on transfer taxation. In addition, Brad serves on the editorial board of the Estate Planning Journal, is a frequent author and lecturer, and is regularly quoted in the news media on tax policy matters. Finally, Brad serves as the co-chair of the Indiana Academy Alumni Council. He lives in New York City with his husband, their 8-year-old twins, and rescue dog. Please welcome Dr. Jennifer Carlson and Brad Dillon.
Thank you for those lovely introductions, and Academy class of 2025. As graduates of the class of 2000, I am so thrilled and privileged to speak with you today. So I'm Jenny Carlson. I'm sometimes called Zola at the Academy, and this is one of my besties, Brad, who is always Brad. And looking back to the year 2000, when we graduated from the Academy, I can't believe how much nerdier we were than everybody sitting here today.
Seriously, like way nerdier.
Do you remember how annoying we were to our teachers? So they had office hours, hoping someone would come in, asking about homework, maybe a hard math problem, and then they got us.
Yeah, we would spend hours on end in their offices, wasting their time, asking them inane questions from everything about college to movies to whether our math teacher was secretly in love with another teacher. We won't name names, but we do think Mrs. Foltz knew about it.
Yeah, we were extremely annoying. I remember how excited we were when we figured out that both of our sign-out cards were perfect squares. 36 and 64, which added up to another perfect square, 100.
I seriously, legitimately cannot believe you remember that. After all, we graduated 25 years ago.
Which is another perfect square. Okay, so I think at this point we have to come clean and tell everybody that we actually have matching pie tattoos, like not the food, but the symbol.
Yeah, it's true.
Mine's a tramp stamp.
Okay, mine's... That is true. Mine's a tasteful one on my leg, okay? But, okay, oh my god, we're literally two aging millennials who went to the Academy a quarter of a century ago, thinking we have something useful to tell anyone in this audience today?
I think we should at least try though, because honestly, I can tell you that I can't remember a single thing that our commencement speaker talked about.
Literally me neither, not at all.
But I do remember how much our families and our teachers and our friends were beaming with pride, just like they're beaming with pride today for all of you. And you know, I know you are all like us. You've worked really, really, really hard to graduate. You adjusted, many of you, to living away from home. You figured out how to manage a schedule that was more like college than high school. And then you went through the terrifying process of applying to college. And for me, it was not knowing if I'd get in, where I'd be next year, and then suddenly having everything seem to fall into place. And yet, even with this sense of pride, I remember 25 years ago feeling this depth of sadness that I had honestly never felt before. It was the sadness of knowing that you have to say goodbye. So graduation 25 years ago was mournful, even if everybody around me was celebrating.
Yeah, it's funny because what I remember most clearly about that day, about this day, is bawling my eyes out in a Wendy's parking lot with my parents after leaving for the last time. It was just all too much, emptying out my dorm room, standing on the curb outside just a few feet away from where we first met for the first time on the very first day. Not knowing if or when we'd ever be in the same place like that again. The moment had such an unfamiliar finality to it. We had spent 2 years of our lives looking into the future, what college we're going to get into, what we would study, who we would date. The graduation felt like the present slapped us in the face.
Exactly. It was like waking up from the perfect dream just because your alarm was set too early. And deep down, we all know it has to happen this way. We knew we had a time limit the moment we moved into Wagner Hall. The Academy made me believe that I could be ready for anything, and yet this sadness of having to say goodbye, I was not ready for that at all.
But then the world swept us up, didn't it? Like it will sweep you all up here today. And if our experience is anything to go off of, it won't take long at all for life to surprise you.
And guess what our first surprise was? So those colleges that we worked so hard to get into, they were not anything like the Academy. Instead, they made us question everything we thought we wanted. So for me, getting into Dartmouth College felt like the biggest achievement of my life, until I got there and I realized that the people, the culture, the entire vibe of the college just didn't fit with me. And Brad, I remember you actually calling me up at Dartmouth, telling me about your own struggles at Cornell, and trying to find community there, which eventually led you to transfer to Indiana University in the middle of your sophomore year. But from there, our careers and lives took off in directions we could hardly have imagined. I got a PhD.
I got a JD.
But along the way, we were constantly faced with profound questions of commitment. And not just the kind of commitment it takes to get through 2 years of the academy, 4 years of college, and then the many, many, many years of graduate school, but we're not going to talk about that right now. That involves a willingness to put your head down and do the hard work. But there is a different kind of commitment, one that requires a leap of faith, to trust yourself that you will find the path that brings out your unique brilliance and your unique contributions to the world. So who am I to forge forward on the path that I'm on? And how do I know it's my path and not somebody else's? So here's one moment that I look back to, a moment that was about a decade after I left the academy. I was a graduate student hoping to be a professor someday, and I was desperate for a dissertation topic that mattered. I had settled on studying gun politics. And as I wrestled over how to define my intellectual identity, I asked myself these questions about my true path over and over and over. Because quite frankly, I was discouraged from studying this topic and making a career out of it. No one in my circle of friends at UC Berkeley in California thought there was a point in understanding gun owners over there. Well, over there, the flyover states like Indiana, Michigan, and the rest of the Midwest, that's where I was from. Now, this was before Sandy Hook, before Trayvon Martin, before Parkland, before so many events that have made it all too obvious that if you aren't paying attention to guns in America, you're missing a really big part of the show. And so back then, all I had was my own gut to go on. And I knew that I was the person who could study this topic and show the wider public why the politics of guns mattered because of who I was and where I was from. It was a bet that I frankly had to take on myself. And I could only do it because the academy gave me a very special toolkit. Tools not just to work hard and pursue my goals, but to do so with a rare sense of knowing who I am and that what I'm doing matters. The academy gave me a belief in my own inner compass. The academy gave me the gift of knowing myself. And it turns out the academy taught us to engage life way beyond trying to understand the esoteric ideas that we might encounter in our textbooks or navigating the questions that our careers would foist upon us. It also prepared us for some of life's most profound journeys and how to understand those journeys not just as difficult, but as opportunities to connect more deeply with ourselves and with those around us. So of course, many of you already know one of my journeys in this regard. My father died 6 years ago from ALS. He was a huge advocate of education and a huge supporter not just of me, but of all of my friends at the academy. He lived long enough for me to see me pursue my goals. He saw me get tenure, but he died before I achieved so many of the accomplishments that I hold dear. And yet his death gave me a special gift, an opportunity to have those deeper relationships with the family and friends that my dad impacted, and also an opportunity to carry forward my dad's legacy through, as many of you know, the Steve Carlson Preservation Award for Indiana Academy students.
Your dad really was a huge supporter of the Academy and of me. Zola's dad was a huge Cubs fan, like a huge Cubs fan. And so naturally his memorial service was at the Cubs Stadium in Chicago. So after we showed up at each other's weddings, being next to you when I found out I was having twins for the first time, after celebrating so many of your successes, comforting each other during times of heartbreak, your dad's memorial was one of the first journeys that made me feel the depth of our friendship more fully. Showing up for you in your grief was a kind of gift too. How lucky that I get to sit with you through all, not just the joyous moments, but through the tears as well. I'd like to ask all of you graduates here today to look out at the closest friends around you. Those who are here with you today. These are quite literally the only people who will ever understand what you did, what you were made of during these formative years of your life. When you were having trouble knowing which path you're supposed to be on, or when you're broken and fallen apart, these are the relationships that will show you who you are and how to be in this messy world. I implore you to foster those friendships. Call them, visit them for no reason, share the reel of the cat doing that funny thing, go to their weddings, go to their families' funerals, study abroad with them, go to them when they're heartbroken and when you're heartbroken. When you get hit with life's biggest mysteries or when you face those crises of commitment, or when you inevitably need to make gigantic, life-altering decisions, friends and family, chosen or otherwise, will help you tune into yourself, the authentic version of you, the you who made it here and made it through. This is how you tune into the gifts that the Academy gives, how you tune into the gut inside you that must guide you through life's awesome and terrible journeys. The paths will be clearer, easier to traverse, and more meaningful, beautiful even, when you have these people by your side. As for the rest of it, you already have all the tools you already need in you. You already know how to work hard, how to thrive in unfamiliar terrains, and how to make the best of friends among strangers. That's the easy stuff. The hard parts require connection, forged through years of showing up for each other in myriad, petty, little, unsexy ways, all the time.
Which is why coming back, I am filled not with mourning, but with gratitude. A gratitude that grows more profound with every passing year since we've graduated. Brad, through all the challenges and struggles, thank you for being my friend as I found myself again and again and again. I'm grateful that with every risk I've taken, every loss I've endured, I've had this home, the home of our friendship, forged in the Academy to come home to.
It's been a privilege to witness your life and have mine witnessed by you. I am both excited and terrified for the next 25 years and beyond. And to all of you out there, I wish you way more than luck.
I hope each of you finds your path and that path is invigorating ways that inspire you to live your full life and challenge you to give your gifts to the world.
Class of 2025, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carlson and Mr. Dillon. Immediately, once we first heard you guys speak, Brody and I started whispering to each other like, OMG, that could be us in 20 years. And honestly, it brought slight tears to both of our eyes just by thinking about it, but that can wait. Now, I'd like to invite Dr. Lufuwata to present the class and Dr. Kavars to accept the class. Please welcome Dr. Lufuwata and Dr. Kavars.
Graduates, would you please stand? Dr. Kavars, it is my privilege and honor to present you with the Indiana Academy graduating class of 2025. Do you accept?
On behalf of all faculty, staff, and administration at the Indiana Academy, I am honored to accept the Indiana Academy class of 2025.
Graduates, you may sit. And the first row, you may begin lining up. Dane Scott Adams. Grace Ilo Adams. Nathaniel Scott Baker. Jackson Thomas Bales. Helena Elizabeth Bechtel. Tandeco Raphael Bayer. Evan Philip Bell. Tyler James Bennett. Georgia Elizabeth Byrd. Kylie Paige Bernier. Jacqueline Elizabeth Berry. Kaya Elizabeth Biner. Sebastian Mark Bilbo. Delaney Ryan Blankenbuehler Lee. Elijah Max Bach. Miriam Ruth Boersma.
It is, but it matches.
Kayla Rose Budissa. Nathaniel Jacob Bowers II. Alexander Thomas Brott. Stephen Douglas Butterfield. Charlie Jack Carroll. Andrew Ray Carter Jr. Brody Michael Chestnut. Hunter Alexander Coppernall. Ming Dang. Kiera Anise Delaney. Virgil Brooklyn Denny. Hunter Owen Dunnock. Maya Rada Edge. Leiliana Ahmed LD. Garrett Michael Elliott. Lily Elizabeth Ellis. Savannah Sky Fields. Mackenzie Antoinette Fleet. Ian Cooper Forster. Carlos Danielle Garcia Franco. Natalie Marie Garinger. Asia Rafat Ganawi. Jillian Reese George. Kenny Brian Gihoso. Michaela Dawn Gist. Jocelyn Elaine Haggard. Jordan Jeffrey Hevelin. Levi Brandon Robert Heindel.
Levi!
Pilar Perez Hernandez. John Hunter Hirschberger. Rachel Margaret Hill. Christopher David Holmquist. Zishan Thahir Hyder. Ella Lynn Johnson. Jones III. Olivia Anne Marie Cavars. Emily Ray Kennedy. Grace Annabelle Custer. Kayla Rose Kustis. Zipu Lee. Justin Lin. Elizabeth Anne Marie Long. Jacob Walker Lunn. Roosevelt Mason III. Cole Michael McDermott. Jaden Lee McDowell. Haley Corinne McKee. Ella Marie Misi. Bruce Anthony Miller. Aaron Cole Miller. Gavin James Doyle Mitchell. Samantha Marie Razonia Mitchell. Sungwoo Moon. Alexander Neff. Owen Baolong Nichols. Liliana Marie Partridge. Trace Owen Pesco. James Andrew Peters. Bo Pitcock. Alicia Nayagi Rathanasamy. Christina Raquel Corshega Ray. I just noticed the ducks. Eleanor Christine Reynolds. Serena Alex Richardson. Lauren Micaiah Richmond. Ella Claire Robertson. Noah 2 Thomas Ross. Owen 2 Thomas Ross. Quinn Matthew Savy. Xavier Salazar. Mallory Rose Saldana. Arav Singh. pause for Dr. Kavars to get his ducks in order. Evelana Renee Singleton Smith. Angelina Phoenix Stallings. Natalie Lynn Stark. Joshua Paul Summers. Benjamin Scott Tierman. Ethan Ray Soya Tomlin. Ava Marie Vessels. Sophia Carmela Viverberg. Then Viet Vo. Ran Wang. Andrea Charlize Webb. Alexis Anastasia Yeager. Renfei Zhang.
When I first met Asia, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I don't think anyone did. Anyone other than Asia. Think back to Welcome Week and you will remember the friends that you made then and still have now. But you will also remember the feeling of coming to a new school with nothing to work off of. A truly horrifying experience, trust me. Asia never seemed to have that issue. During our first conversation, she demonstrated a social ease and grace that would have impressed anyone. She was the only person that I can remember who truly seemed to have it all together.
When I first met Brody, I had mastered the typical conversational flow behind meeting new classmates. When he first walked up to me, I was beyond prepared to tell him my name, where I was from, what floor I lived on, and what about the academy I was most looking forward to. Instead, I was ambushed by a question that I hope I am never asked again. What's your favorite ancient civilization? Now, Brody, I will give it to you. You do know how to keep things interesting. But immediately, I started questioning why I chose to move schools. Contrary to Brody's initial impression, I was filled with uncertainty, wondering if I was the kind of student that belonged at the academy. There's an infinite number of words I could use to describe the feelings I experienced that day. Excited, fearful, nervous, scared out of my mind. Truly, just about any word could fit.
Now, Academites, the feelings that Asya just described are likely exactly how you're feeling now. For many of you, the Academy has grown to feel like a second home. According to Life 360, it is my home. I know it's a tad cliche, but bear with me while we take a moment to reflect on some of the things that will make this school so memorable, like sprinting to face check or forgetting to turn in your car.
Realizing that ghost vibes actually do work.
The whiplash that inevitably comes from sitting through a Dr. Lobo lecture.
And SLC Hannah wearing an inflatable horse costume to every single dreaded floor meeting.
It is undeniable that these are the things about the Academy that you will remember for the rest of your life. But they aren't the things that make this school truly exceptional. The teachers staying extra late for study sessions before tests, the TAs holding court in Jeep and Home Tree, the SLCs whose doors are always open. That is what makes the Academy truly exceptional. The community that deeply cares for each and every one of you.
Our class has developed an impressively strong sense of community, one forged by the unique experiences the Academy has thrown at us over the past few years. For instance, let's all recall a day this past year where we were all rudely awakened by the fire alarm at 7:40 a.m. I, along with many others, were subjected to 28-degree weather, a frantic Res Life staff, and Brody in a bathrobe and sandals.
Aside from this immortalizing experience, I think it is accurate to say that the Academy has been a place of immense growth for us all. Specifically, the friendship that Asya and I have developed over the past 2 years is a prime example of how the Academy brings people to grow together.
As you can probably assume, Brody and I are very different people. I am a Sudanese child of immigrants who has lived in Indianapolis my entire life, and I'm going to college for computer science and math.
And I am a white boy, born and raised in rural Indiana, who is going to college for international studies and Slavic studies. We couldn't be less similar.
And yet, the Academy is a place that has driven us to move past differences that are so inherent to our beings and the perspectives in which we view the world. Growing our friendship has not been easy.
Has not been easy. It's been really difficult. To be honest, I'm surprised that we can still stand each other.
But the Academy has created a rare environment that encourages people to seek out mutual understanding. After all, I did live with him for 2 years. It'd be a little draining to constantly avoid him. Trust me, I've tried. But honestly, the tense moments throughout our friendships have been amongst the ones I valued the most. The tough conversations are the ones we've grown the most from.
Asya and I have a bit of a tradition that we call the 11 p.m. crash out, which is where one of us will come to some revelation late into the night, and it somehow manages to always be right at 11 p.m. They span the entire gamut of possible topics, with some of my personal favorites being the failures of AI policy in education, the urban-rural divide, and Brody learned something new about Russian, and now Asya has to listen.
And sometimes, the 11 p.m. crash out is about things that more immediately impact our friendship. Notably, because of Brody, I will forever strive to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, as I've learned that not every comment that comes off wrong was said with malicious intent.
And she has taught me how to effectively structure an apology. Now, Asya, I am incredibly thankful for our friendship, as it has truly allowed me, you can't cry yet, as it has allowed me to become an undeniably better person. You yourself have had a tremendous impact on the course of my life, and I am tremendously upset that we won't be living in the same building or even the same state next year. You are my best friend, and not seeing you every single day is one of the most upsetting things that I could ever imagine happening to me.
Okay, I'm gonna try not to cry. I promise. Brody, every single day since I've met you, you've grown into more and more of an inspiration to not just me, but so many of our fellow graduates as well. Through every conversation I have with you, I feel myself becoming a more open-minded person and growing in ways I hadn't merely dreamed of just a short 2 years ago. Thank you for sticking through just about everything with me. To say I'm grateful is an understatement. Sure, we'll live on opposite sides of the country, but please never forget that I'm only ever one 11 p.m. crash out away. Small piece of advice, maybe don't go asking scared IU freshmen what their favorite ancient civilizations are. Or do, maybe, I don't know. That is how I met my best friend.
You are one of the few people who are exceptionally gifted at making me want to cry, so thank you for that. Academites, I ask you once again to reflect on what all being at the Academy has done for you. It gave me the best teachers that I have ever had, memories that will last a lifetime, and it gave me my best friend. It likely gave you the same. The Academy gave me the opportunity to be exposed to people, things, concepts that I never would have seen otherwise. It created an environment where I could meet and grow close to Asya, despite any social expectations. I encourage you all to take this unique environment focused on acceptance, open-mindedness, and self-actualization with you. Cherish these things as you go into the next chapter of your life. Cherish the knowledge that this school prepared you just as much as it could. You're ready for what comes next. I know.
While my time at the Academy has been spent mostly away from them, without endless support from my parents and siblings, as well as the values that they have instilled in me, I am certain I would not be half the person I am today. So, on behalf of the graduating class, whether it be parents, siblings, or friends from our previous high schools, I'd like to thank everyone who has supported us from afar, many of you being in the audience today.
Your time at the Academy is spent at least 3 days a week in the classroom, the setting that defines the entirety of education itself. The Academy boasts some of the best faculty in the nation, something I can guarantee is more than just something that Kendall posts on social media. I attribute so much of the growth that I have had throughout my life, both personal and academic, to the educators that I have been fortunate enough to have, which is something that I am sure all those in the audience today would agree with. So, to the educators in the audience, on behalf of all of us who have benefited from you, thank you.
To my fellow graduates, as I think about transitioning away from the Academy, once again, there's an infinite number of words I could use to describe how I feel. But more than anything, I am filled with so much gratitude for the incredible 2 years I've had the opportunity to spend growing alongside you all. The community we've built is one I hope you will never forget. I'm more than certain that I will. The Academy has become my home, and it's so hard to imagine stepping away. But as you inevitably grapple with those same thoughts, I want you to remember the wise words of Winnie the Pooh. How lucky are we to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard? I am so confident that every single one of you will go on to do incredible things, and I can't wait to hear about them. Thank you for the experience of a lifetime.
To my fellow graduates, I truly just want to say thank you. I have grown so much as both a student and a person while at this school, and that is thanks entirely to those of you sitting before me now. My intended career path has changed, I've fully come into myself as a person, and it is safe to say that I have never been happier. And if my mom wasn't crying by now, she probably is there. You can't tell from here. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. These words from Mary Oliver, my favorite poet, encapsulate this moment perfectly for me. Thanks to the people at the Academy, the family that I have at home, and everyone else that has helped me along the way, I am ready to embrace the clean blue air. I hope you are too. Thank you, Academites. We love you. Now, before we head home, it's time for the moment that you've all been waiting for. My paper.
I'll wait for Brody. Symbolizing the transition into your new beginning, Academites, please stand. And join me in turning your tassels from the right side to the left.
Congratulations, graduates.